Hello friends, here with the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing Shadows of Brimstone. And this is probably going to be the last video of the series, simply because the death track is already pretty advanced, so I might only have 2 turns left or so before darkness escapes of the mine. And I made actually a significant mistake. A viewer pointed out that in the first room that I explored in the mines, where this pile of skull was, there was a marker with a clue token, and I missed that. So that means that I would actually have had now 3 clue tokens. But it's hard to go back here. I mean, somewhere here or there would have been an epic fight. But I think probably here then, but I'm not sure about that. But now I think it's too late. You know, sometimes you simply make mistakes and it's so hard to correct them. So I will go on now and... well, maybe I draw a 4th token. I don't think so. I don't think that this will happen. But because, well, I have to do this big fight here, that probably will take, well, I don't know, maybe 2 turns or something, and then the game will be over anyway. Okay, now let's roll first again on the depth track. And that's enough. That's cool. That's an additional turn then. And now we have to fight all these undead here. And the gunslinger actually starts. And he uses now, he does the double wield action and rolls 3 dice, the black dice, for the Deadman's Iron and 2 for the pistol. And the hits with the black dice, they do an additional damage to undead. So that's why it's important to distinguish here. Okay, so we have 1 hit with the black dice, 2 with the pistol. We don't have a critical hit because of the dual wielding here. So now this is the additional damage. Okay, well that's definitely enough to kill one of these guys. And again, I should have said which one it is before basically, but it's going to be that one, I guess. Okay, now I'm going to attack, I'm going to give 1 hit to this one and 1 hit to that one. So let's start with the first one. That's not enough, I'm afraid. Now, what I could do is, I could use this last Deadeye shot, and I'm going to do that. So that now kills this guy. And what about this one? That is enough. Very good. So I managed to kill 3 of the undead, and that gives me 60 experience points. Not too bad. By the way, the gunslinger is now at an experience of 510. So he could now also upgrade to the next level if he wanted to. The saloon girl can roll for movement. That's a 5. Now, here's the thing. I think what I'm going to do is, if I want to have a chance to do this big battle at the end, I will actually move on. I cannot explore a new room as long as I'm fighting. I cannot search while I'm fighting, and exploring is basically a form of searching. But I can move at the edge, and maybe then in the next turn I can explore. But before I'm going to do this, we have a range of 3 with this thing. I thought if I could use my holdout pistol, but it's too far away, so I'm simply going to move there. Okay, and now it's the marshal, and he uses his shotgun. Now that's a critical hit, very good. That kills this guy. And then he can use the shotgun again. And that is also a critical hit. So he kills this guy. Very cool. 2 zombies killed, so that gives him 40 experience points. And he's also at 440 now. So close to the possibility of leveling up. So finally we have now the preacher here, and he can roll 3 dice to do this attack here. Now, yeah, let's see. Okay, that's a critical hit, so that means he kills the last zombie. So that was very successful. Maybe there is a little chance that we actually might get into this fight, but I need to have to find a 4th clue token here. Okay. Now we're allowed to catch a breath and draw some loot. And catching a breath is here quite useful because we all take some sanity loss because of these drums that we hear all the time. So the gunslinger goes first, so he can give away 2. He can regain 2 sanity. Same here. The marshal. That's only 1, but that's not great, but okay. And finally the preacher. That's also only 1. Okay, and now we're going to draw the loot cards. Okay, let's see what we got. This is a sack of gold dust. That's neat, $100. This should come in handy. Draw a gear card or an artifact if in another world. And that's where we are. So we're allowed to draw one of these artifacts. And what's that? Harrow Fern Fungus. Gain 2 Swamp Fungus token. Each token heals D6 wounds and D6 sanity. Well, okay, that's not bad. I wonder where these fungus tokens are. I got them here. Okay, so she gets 2 of these. And let's see, the marshal. That's a gear card, but still, it might be a good one. So let's hope for the best here. What's that? Bandolier strap. Once per turn, you may reroll a range to hit roll. Frontier, traveler, or outlaw only. I'm afraid we don't have... Ah, he's a traveler. Now that is pretty cool. That's definitely cool. That's a good one. And from what I think, he might use the rune of the traveler. So then he would also have the option to take that. But I think he will actually take this. That's a strong... that's really cool. In combination with his shotgun. Absolutely awesome. Finally, the preacher. Well, some Darkstone. Until now he doesn't have any, so that's okay. Well, 3. Pretty cool. Okay. And everyone gets an additional 20 experience points. Okay, let's see. Well, maybe there is still a chance. If we roll now, well, but we need an 8 or higher. Oh boy. Okay, so this goes down once more. And now we can try to explore the next tile. So that's the gunslinger, and he moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the saloon girl stays there, but she rolls for movement anyway. That's a 5. And then she can draw a map tile. Okay. Ah, that sucks. That's a mid-passage. That's pretty horrible because, well, there is no exploration token there, so I don't think we can make it. Okay, in addition, from now on, we have to roll a 9. And... Okay, well, I think it doesn't make too much sense anymore. Well, anyway, let's move the US Marshal. Maybe he can scavenge. Yeah, that looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 5. Here we go. That's a 5. He might actually go here. And then he's going to scavenge this area. The gunslinger should have done that before, but okay. Yeah, he finds something. Very good. And $50 and 10 experience points. A small find. Fine. Actually, because the darkness track moved on, she was allowed to heal a sanity because of her rune of darkness. Well, now the preacher moves. That's a 1, which gives him a grit, which is not very helpful right now, but okay. So he moves here, I guess. And well then, I'm going to roll again. If the track moves on, that is an 8, but that's not good enough. So this thing goes on now, and we got to draw another Growing Dread card here. So now the gunslinger moves. That is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that allows him to do a scavenge action. Maybe we can still grab a few items. That's at least worth something. And that was not successful. The saloon girl then moves. Okay, that's a 6. Now, to be honest, I don't think it makes any sense to explore the next room, because I'm pretty sure... And on the other hand, I mean, you never know. It might be possible, if I'm rolling very lucky, hard to tell. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I mean, why not? Let's explore the next room too. Okay, a cross passage. I think it's getting more and more unlikely now. Okay, well, then let's move the marshal. That's a 1. And he's going to use the 1 to reroll that roll, because with a little bit of luck he can make it in here, and maybe, on the other hand, I don't know if it makes sense to do a scavenge action. Is it that important? He might also keep the grid. Maybe that's good for some later purpose on the ride back or in town or whatever. And finally, the preacher. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let me think this through. Okay, so I'm not absolutely sure what to make of this. I'm thinking about turning back now, because if I now start the next turn, I probably will release darkness out of the mine, and the mission would be failed. Now, usually, if you run away, the mission also counts as a failure. But here it says the possum may either turn back with this knowledge, the mission counts as successful, or continue to finish the mission for some good old-fashioned revenge. Now, I wonder if this choice only is possible when you draw that card, or if you can go back also later on. It seems to me like it's a choice you can only do here. And if you continue the mission and you don't make it, you don't do the revenge, the mission counts as a failure. I think that might be the case here. I'm not sure about that, but I'm going to play it that way. So it seems like, well, yeah, I've lost the mission, but I can still roll on the depth track here. And I didn't make it. Okay, so the marker moves now here to the mine entrance. And basically because I made this really stupid mistake that I missed one of these clue tokens. In addition, I was quite unlucky that I didn't manage to draw some cool rooms here. Let me see how many clue tokens were left here. 1, 2. Yeah, well, a little bit of luck. I might have been able to draw another one, but okay. Well, I think what I want to do is I'm going to travel into town anyway, do the traveling events, but I'm probably not going to go through this town process anymore. Okay, now the penalty for the loss of the mission is D3 corruption points for each hero. So the gunslinger, he takes 2. And they cannot roll against their willpower here. The saloon girl, well, that's 3. That sucks, but okay. The marshal takes 2. And finally, the preacher, only 1. That's okay. Okay, so now we got to roll for the Darkstone corruption, and that can be a critical point here because they already have 2 corruptions. she has, well, luckily she doesn't have a Darkstone. But okay, I mean, he's got to roll now 5 dice. And on a 1, 2, or 3, he takes a corruption hit. Well, that sucks. These are 4 corruption hits. I guess I'm gonna give away a grid and reroll that. Oh, whoa. Still 2 and... Okay, 2 corruption hits here. Let's see if I can prevent them. I need a 4 or higher, and... Well, I take another corruption, but that is still okay. I'm at 3 now. That's not that bad. Now this guy has 4. So he takes 2 hits, and okay, no problems here. And finally the preacher, he has 3 Darkstone, so we roll here 3 hits, but he's pretty good in willpower, so yeah, okay. So it wasn't too bad. That was close, especially for the gunslinger, but in the end wasn't such a big deal. Okay, now that I think about it, I don't think that the hero can roll for that first corruption roll. I think he cannot use a grid there, but I'm not sure, but I don't think so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do willpower tests for these 2 other hits I re-rolled, and hope I'm doing fine here. Okay, I missed that, but now I can use a grid. I'm pretty sure I can use a grid here at the willpower test. And okay, I take another one, and I'm still fine. 4 is the limit. A 5th one would give me a mutation, which would be fun, but it's not always a great idea. Okay, now every hero has regained his full sanity, full health, and starts the journey now with 1 grid token. And now we got to roll. Each hero has to roll a die. On a 1 or 2, there'll be a travel hazard. So I'm going to roll 4 dice. And we're going to see 1 travel hazard here. So let's see what that is. Oh gosh. Oh shit. Here we are. 18. Okay, so we're going to roll 3d6 and we see what happens. I haven't done that too often, so it's really a surprise here. Okay, that's a 14. That could be interesting. It's a pretty... well, not exactly an average result or something. So let's see. Gulch ambush. Traveling through a dusty gulch, you get a bad feeling, but it's too late. Feathered arrows whiz past your head as a savage group of Black Fang tribe Indians descend from the cliff tops, hungry for Darkstone. Okay, now each hero must make an Agility 5 or Lore 5 test. If passed, gain 25 experience and you are able to evade the worst of the attack, escaping into the hills to meet up with the rest of the posse. If failed, you are knocked to the ground as the Black Fang scavenge your belongings for Darkstone. Lose D3 Darkstone or 1 item with a Darkstone icon. Also, due to your bumps and bruises, you lose all grit. Okay. Now, let's see. It's agility or... what was it? Lore. Well, fine. Okay, we got an agility of 3 plus 1 for the ribbon. So the gunslinger is pretty good here. And yeah, no problems here. So that's 25 experience for the gunslinger. The saloon girl, she has an agility of 4. And she also makes it close, but she does. Now, I got a feeling that the marshal might be in trouble, but, well, he has at least a 3. And also he is successful. Finally, it's the preacher, and he uses his lore value. So he also rolls 3 dice. And he's also successful. So, perfect. Everybody was lucky here. And that means we all gain 25 experience points. And now we are safe in the frontier town. Okay, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the town. I know many people love it. I think it's not that interesting. It's for once I find it pretty overwhelming, all the things you can do. Another thing that bugs me a little bit is if you buy all these mighty weapons there, you might not use the weapons that you find anymore, which is a little sad, I think. And, well, then all this rolling and just looking up the charts and things, it's not exactly what I want. So I'm going to do this. Yeah, it's not going to be part of the series anymore. Usually I would not do it anyway, but I'm planning to keep these guys, and maybe if there will be some additional stuff, I might use 1 or 2 of them again. Okay, now what can I say to the game? I've already did it. I've already did a short review of this. And I was completely overwhelmed. I absolutely loved it. Now, it changed a little bit here. I still like it. I played it quite a bit. I'm not that convinced anymore. It feels to me a little too much like one of these role-playing games where you, I don't know, where you do, for example, where you need for a fight, which would take about a minute or so, you have to play 8 hours. It's not that extreme here, but I think there is a little too much die rolling here, especially if it comes to the fights. The exploration element is not that interesting because there are no dead ends, and in the end it doesn't really the rooms, damn, it's hard to tell. I mean, if you play with this optional rule that there are special events in the rooms, then it makes kind of sense, because then it does matter what room you explore. If you play without that rule, it basically doesn't matter. It's just a little bit the shape of the room, but in the end it's not really important if you explore this tile or that tile, because you can draw every event on every tile, so there is no real difference to it. It's more or less just the look here. And as I said, there is always a way forward. So even these different exits here, it doesn't really matter. Usually you will simply take one single way and just move straight on. It was kind of a exception that I went back here and took another way, but usually what you do is you always go straight on and try to make it to the last to the last crew token. So, well, that's why I think the exploring mechanism is not that interesting here. Another point is that the missions, at least many of them, feel very similar, that at the end you always have to fight that epic enemy. And, that's it. I don't know. I wish there would be a little more, a little more different types of missions or something. But okay, I mean, overall, it's a very good game. I really do enjoy it, but the first impression was, hey, that could be maybe my best game, my best Ameritrash game. That's definitely not the case. Absolutely not. Arkham Horror will probably be forever my favorite, but that's something else. Okay, but I have to do a little rant here now at the very end. Usually I don't do this because I only do games that I really like. So, but here there is actually one thing that really bugs me about the policy of Flying Frog when it comes to this Kickstarter shipping. And I'm really, really, really pissed about that. Because it's now, I don't know, I'm not absolutely sure, maybe about nearly 2 years or so, maybe not quite, that this Kickstarter campaign was launched. And I backed it, well, pretty much at the highest regular level, you know. I mean, I didn't pay, I don't know, $1,000 to name a hero or something like that. But I paid, I think, about $300 so that I basically would get all the stretch goals and all the the additional stuff that you could buy. And I paid for all these extra items that you could get for a discount with the Kickstarter campaign and all that stuff. So I really paid a lot of money here. Could have been more actually than 300. I'm not sure. Maybe it was 370 or something like that. It was quite a bit. And well, after a year or so, I received the 2 core games, which was good. I really, I'm pretty happy with them. But here's the thing. They are gonna deliver the rest all in one package. So they came out now with the stuff at Gen Con, all these cool new minis, and they're gonna come up with a new world pretty soon. And you can buy this stuff in the shops. But they're gonna wait until they send this to the Kickstarter backers, until everything is done that was promised in Kickstarter. So how long it takes, I'm not sure. Maybe another year or something. I think that's the schedule. And that really bugs me. Now they came up with an offer to get, well, kind of an extra shipping, you know. They would do a wave 1.5, that's what they call it. So wave 1 were the 2 core games, wave 2 would have been everything, the whole rest, and wave 1.5 now is basically what's done more or less right now or in a few weeks or so. But you got to pay $100 to get that. And that's ridiculous. That's simply not a fair deal in my opinion. I mean, I understand that it takes quite some effort to, to check all these pledge levels and to do all the packaging and send it to the people. And so that's, of course, yeah, it costs money to send the stuff, the shipping costs, but it's definitely not going to be $100. And I mean, I live in Europe, of course it's a little more expensive there, but it's still, I don't think it's going to be $100. And they've chosen to do this via Kickstarter. And I think one thing that the backers can expect is that they are among the first who are able to play this. And it was their choice to do this by Kickstarter. And I'm really not happy with this whole solution. And $100 are a lot of money. And by the way, if I order a package of cards, of promo cards or so on BGG, I gotta pay $5 for that, and then it comes to Germany after a week or so. If I order a supplement at Flying Frog, I gotta pay $20 for shipping alone. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely not a fair price. They made this free offer that you could, for Kickstarter backers, that you could, you could get about 50 cards or something like that. Some additional items and whatever. You could get these cards, but you had to pay for shipping $20. Man, that's ridiculous. And if I pay these $100, I have to pay taxes in addition, and I have to pay for the shipping alone about $20 in taxes. So this becomes more and more expensive. So it probably will end up there that I'm going to see all these new cool things in my shop at my local retailer, and I'm not able to buy it because I've ordered it already, and I have to wait for another year or so until I really can play that. Well, okay. So that's it. That's my great rant. Okay, anyway, great game. Hope to see you in my next video. Until then, bye.